Hey guys, what's going on? Peter J. Cruz here. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, season's greetings, all that good stuff to you and to your families. May the best be yet to come for you for 2018. Hopefully, you had a good 2017. Um, so, want to get all those season's greetings and well wishes out of the way. As I delve into my last webcast of the year or last video of the year, uh, I don't think I'm going to do it live. It's a little too hectic, and by the time I get around to it, it'd be late, and no one would watch it anyway, and I'd be half asleep during it. So let's just shoot the video, and I've got a few minutes here. May actually will be recorded in sections, so I'll uh, tell you that right up front, just because I mean it's Christmas Day's the 24th. I'm shooting this now, um, and just go ahead and as time allows, I guess, getting, we have people coming over to the house this evening, so, last minute preparations, and whenever I get a chance to squeeze out for a little, couple of minutes to sneak out a video, here I am. So, kind of had like a long list of stuff I want to talk about, kind of the year in review, and, kind of what I'm looking at for next year and that sort of thing. So, and it's been a while since I've shot a video, and I think my last webcast was probably like in March or so. So, anyway, so getting started with that. Uh, uh, Basically, I mean, in studio, really haven't done a whole lot at all. Spent very little time in studio this year, for better or for worse. Um, I was doing the webcast, the Shred Geek show. Did a few episodes. They're probably still up on my YouTube channel, and I had some technical issues and then some time issues, and I got to a point where it just wasn't fun. Um, so I needed to basically revisit it, take step away, take some time off, and I just put everything on the back burner. I was like, you know what? Let me just put this whole music thing on the back burner for now, and just step away and entertain myself, and do something else with my time, take my mind off of it, and come back to it fresh, and we'll see how it goes. So I did a lot of different things this year to keep my mind, get my mind off of it, and we had some family trips that we did, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'll probably highlight a few things along the way. So, but uh, it felt good to get away from it for a while. But I think ultimately it was good because now I'm chomping at the bit. I'm just ready to get back into it. I'm just ready to just start pick up that guitar and write and record, and I've actually got some old material. I mean, old material. It's from early 90s. I think I was still in school, and I got like 4-track demos that I'm actually going to kind of download them into my DAW, clean them up a little bit. Probably won't do a whole lot with them, uh, but I'll probably just upload them for no other reason, just for like historical purposes. If you want to go out and buy them, knock yourself out. 99 cents, whatever. Um, but I mean, other than that, I mean, it's not a money maker for me whatsoever. It's just to get my material out there, just kind of like, hey, this is what I was doing in 1990. This is what I was doing in 1992, whatever. This is my brother playing the drums. Sadly, you'll never hear him ever play drums again. He passed away in 97, 98. I think it was 98. Man, I don't even remember. It's been a while. He was in a car wreck, and that was it. So the whole world tour thing had to be put off on hold. No, Van Halen type of world tour with the two of us or whatever. And you'll hear from the drum from the audio that he was quite the drummer. Of course, it was not the best recording quality, and it was in our basement and had a couple of microphones or whatever, so it was pretty terrible. But the songs were there. The songs were solid. It was all the potential was there, So, but anyway, uh, it is what it is. So, anyway, but like, yeah, I haven't done a whole lot in studio hardly at all, and wanted to step away from it. And I think it did me some good because now, like I said, I'm just ready. I'm just dying to get back into it. Get back to writing and recording and shredding, and and doing some videos, so hopefully 2018 will be a big year for me. I had a lot of stuff going on too with the business and with work and stuff, so that's kept me occupied as well and kind of infringed on my time, so to speak. But I mean, it pays the bills, it pays for our travels, and you'll see we did quite the traveling this year. So I mean, you can't bite the hand that feeds you, right? So I mean, you gotta call our priorities what they are. But other than that, I mean, I'm ready to get back into this and get crazy with it. So um, gear wise, since it's been kind of a quiet year for me musically in studio, whatever, did pick up a few pieces of gear. I picked up right after NAMM, I picked up a Universal Audio Apollo Twin Mach 2. I got the Duo, um, which is the interface I'm using now. I have it hooked up to my computer via Thunderbolt, and it's been great. And being able to record or use the UAD plugins basically on the way in with no latency and monitor through them. It's just really really cool. Um, let's see. I also picked up. I believe I got it this year. I got a Behringer X Touch. I don't know if I got it last year, if it was this year. I want to say it's this year because it's new in studio. But I might have got it last year. I just haven't used it a whole lot. But it's been on my desk. No, I got it this year. Had to have gotten it this year. It's basically a control service, 8 faders. The webcam is sitting on top of it right now. So I got 8 faders, got a main fader, the jog wheel, 500,000 buttons, got the encoder knobs at the top for like pan or, if you want to just a plug-in or something, you can use those, the virtual pan pots at the top. So I got that. And I also picked up a soft tube console one, the Mach 2, also a Mach 2. I guess it's been the year of the Mach 2 this year. You plug it in, you use the soft tube console one plug-in across your project, and then basically this hardware device, and I probably end up having to do a video on it, but this is pretty sweet. It's basically like a console strip, like it's console channel that you have in a recording studio, but in a USB control surface. You got your input section here. You got your shaping, which I guess is like you can do like for transients and whatnot. You can do your low cut, high cut pass filters and stuff over here. You got your compressors over here on the end, equalizations here in the middle, and then you got like an output type section, and you can basically change your channels by pressing the button across the top. And um, it's pretty slick. I mean, you can see YouTube videos on it out the wazoo. It's all over YouTube, and it sounds killer. It comes with an you hear me, Santa? Um, and anyway, so that's going to be part of the fitness studio as well. I need to kind of balance how I'm going to figure out between the X Touch and that one. One of them might have to go. Probably be the X Touch if anything. But anyway, so that's been gear wise. That's been what's been going on. Um, Sadly, along the same year of 2017, my digital audio workstation I've used for forever, Sonar, Cakewalk Sonar, is no more. They closed their doors. They announced it, I think the week of Thanksgiving or maybe the week before. Basically said, yeah, fortunately we're closing our doors. Gibson Brands USA, who are I guess the parent company, have decided to close us down, and there'll be no more future updates and this and that, and kind of really pissed me off, and I'm really pissed by that, and I won't get into any more raging about that here, um, but not happy about it. So basically, I've decided, well, any new projects I do, any new material will have to be through a new DAW, because at one point in the future, be it near future or far future or years down the road, whatever, Sonar is not going to work or not be able to work on a PC anymore. due to updates or lack of updates, or Windows might break something and then the thing won't work right or whatever, because Windows will do that. I love Microsoft. And so I need to begin now, kind of I'm doing like a fresh start anyway. Be as good a time as any to learn a new digital audio workstation, and and go with it. So I got a really, really good cross grade deal on Studio One Professional, which I've been using and I've been really enjoying with that. I've also had Pro Tools 12.5, which I got when I bought my 11 rack, and I got the upgrade through that. I haven't renewed my subscription on the Pro Tool side, and I don't think I want to. Um, but I am going to learn Pro Tools and get more comfortable and familiar with it, only because it is the industry standard. Um, I'm not a big fan of it in general, but I mean, now that Sonar is basically on the way out, I need to find a replacement. And I mean, Pro Tools is as good as any to look at. So I'm going to look at it, give it a good shake, and see. That cloud collaboration feature that they have starting in 12.5 is really slick, and I like it. So for no other reason, I might learn Pro Tools just for that feature there. And I've also tried and bought Harrison Console's Mixbus, which is another DAW. It's probably a bit more Spartan in features compared to something like like Sonar or Pro Tools or Logic or whatever. Um, it's more. It has some MIDI and some editing features and stuff, kind of like most DAWs do, but it's kind of real rudimentary in terms of its MIDI implementations. So I mean, if you're just basically wanting a DAW that can just record up 10 million tracks of audio, like with microphones or singing or whatever, then the Mixbus is actually really, really great because it's a straight up, like it's basically like a recording studio on a hard drive is what it is. Um, and they've built in all this Harrison console tonalities and EQ and workflow essentially. So basically, working in that program is almost like you're sitting at a Harrison console, which is, I mean, some of the most some of the biggest albums in history have been recorded on Harrison console. I think they use them for some of the Star Wars movies. They like Michael Jackson Thriller. Um, I wonder there was a Metallic album. I think that was recorded through a Harrison console. Master Puppets, one of their earlier stuff. Some Queen albums, and I mean a whole bunch of other were recorded through a Harrison console. So they definitely have a real classic sound. And I just downloaded some WAV files and played it through, and it just sounded really awesome. Without having to sit there and like run console emulation plugins on it. I mean, it just sounded killer right out of the box. So I'm also looking at that, and we'll see. Because I don't do a whole lot of MIDI outside of the drums, really. So still playing with it. And the really, really cool thing I will say about the Mixbus that has probably got the leg up on Pro Tools and on Studio One, which are the other two I'm really playing with, um, is Mixbus is cross-platform. Now, Pro Tools and Studio One will also do Mac and Windows. But Mixbus will do Mac, Windows, and it'll do Linux, which has me real excited because I really want to ditch Windows. You have no idea. I might talk about that later. We'll see. I'll talk about it right now. So, in the effort to finally divulge myself from the whole Microsoft shenanigans, I guess, for lack of a better term, I've decided I could try. Well, the audio hardware support on Linux is really, really poor compared to like what you get on Windows or Mac. So I'm like, well, I could build a Hackintosh or change my computer over to Hackintosh. So I tried that. And let's just say it's a work in progress. I actually bought another SSD drive that I put in my audio workstation, which for the record, I'm running a Z97 motherboard by Asus, a Z97 Pro. And I've got an i7 4790K processor. But I'm not into the whole overclocking thing. So it's just 4 gigahertz or whatever. I might play with it, but I'd rather it be more stable than not. It's running 32 gigabytes of 24 gigahertz or megahertz RAM, um, 32 gigabytes, and it's got a Thunderbolt port on it. And so anyway, and I'm running a Radeon RX 480 video card. So I decided, well, let me go ahead and add, because all that stuff should be okay running Hackintosh stuff. So let me go ahead and get another SSD drive, install it in the computer, unplugged everything else except that one SSD drive, and I went through the process of installing Mac OS. And I actually bought the disk for Snow Leopard, installed it, got it installed. Took some doing, but I got it installed. And then on reboot, it didn't want to reboot. It would get stuck. It'd hang up on something. And some of my frustration, I decided to let me try Sierra or something. I think it was Sierra, yeah. So I went ahead and tried Sierra and downloaded a whole bunch of stuff to USB drive. Got it booted up and got it installed, everything. Got it rebooting and everything. So I had to sit there and play with like arguments and stuff to, disable this or enable that or, whatever, safe mode here and there or whatever. So finally got it going and had it. I mean, it was running solid. It was running great. I was almost at the point of I had networking working and everything, and I was ready to just sit there and actually play with, start installing, Pro Tools and Studio One and whatever, and get that stuff running on the Mac. And then I decided, well, I want to put my video card back in because I was running off the onboard, um, um, running on the onboard video card. And so I was like, well, let me update to the newest, which is the 10.12.6, which I guess is the last update on the Sierra side. So then my video card would be recognized natively, and I wouldn't have to mess with drivers. And doing that update kind of broke everything. So and then it wouldn't want to reboot and get in there or whatever. So I said, you know what? I've lost a couple of days of my life playing with this. So let me go ahead and just put this on the back burner for now, and I'll revisit this. So I just unplugged the hard drive with Mac OS on it, plugged everything else back in, booted up, and I'm back to square one again. So when time allows, I'll go back and play with that again. So, but my ultimate goal is to have Mac running. Or I might end up going to Linux. We'll see. But for right now, rather than lose more time with this or whatever, I want to get back and get crazy and get recording and stuff. So we'll go. We'll try that. During this whole DAW search thing, I did. One of the options, of course, was Cubase. I mean, that's another reputable name in the DAW arena. And I initially wrote it off because, well, I started with Cubase, and then I went to Sonar when Steinberg basically had this real snafu with support way back during the time of Cubase SX3. They had released SX3, and then in the process of getting everything up to get their SX4 or Cubase 4 or whatever version was going to be called, they decided that that they were going to drop support. Excuse me, they're going to drop support for SX3, which odd because I mean the program had been out less than a year. They were apparently trying to invest all their resources into developing this new Cubase 4, and I think the reason for that was Cakewalk had already come out with a 64-bit DAW, or were already running 64-bit double precision and all this other 64-bit stuff, and they were like the first to come to market with that. And I think Cubase wanted to follow suit, but they didn't have the resources to go that route just yet. So they decided to drop all support for everything so they could take everyone in the building and put them down to work on getting it 64-bit and up and running and whatever. And a bunch of us we were on the forums and stuff, and we were just like, what the hell are they doing? I mean, they promised to fix this bug, which some people couldn't even use Cubase because this bug would cause something to crash or whatever, and it needed to be fixed. But basically, Cubase, Steinberg was like, you know what? Sorry, too bad, so sad. You bought our program. We're working on the next version. It'll be fixed in the next version. You'll have to just wait. Like, what the hell? So a bunch of us left at that time. For the record, I didn't have any issues at all. My Cubase is working okay. I didn't have it. I guess it was more MIDI or virtual instrument stuff or whatever, and that wasn't stuff that was pertaining to me, but I thought their attitude was piss poor. And I decided at that point, I was like, you know what? If a company's going to do this kind of crap, they're still selling the program on their website. So if you went to their website at that day and when they dropped support and buy their Cubase SX3, there was no warning on there whatsoever. It says, oh, by the way, this is not going to be supported. If you have any problems with it, you're on your own. It was like $500, whatever it cost, basically buy it and as is, good luck. Hopefully it works for you. If not, then you're on your own. No, they didn't take it off their website. Then there was no disclaimers offered or whatever. I was like, I'm never going to use another one of their products again. Well, of course, this whole Sonar thing hits the fan, and Cubase is one of the options. So I ended up messaging Ando. I think his name was Ando. He's one of the product guys for Cubase here in the U.S. And so I messaged him. I was like, you know what? I'll be honest with you. And I kind of told him the whole story, what happened back with SX3. And I was like, I would like to look at Cubase and give it a shake, but I mean, past experience, they could kiss my ass. I mean, I really don't give a rat's butt about Cubase. But I probably wouldn't be doing myself any favors by just ignoring them just because of something happened like what, 13 years ago or 12 years ago, whatever it was. So he's like, well, I can assure you that that is not our attitude now. He's like, I think during that time there was a problem where they were in the process of transitioning from one office to another. And they had to shut down technical support for some reason during the transition to the new building or something, or the facility wasn't ready and the whole department got left out. It was out in the cold. I don't know. There was some kind of something like that. So he apologized or whatever, and he recommended I give it a try. And he'd appreciate my me giving it a shot. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's honest enough. You know, he was nice enough about it. I didn't even expect an answer from him, but he messaged me back. In fact, he messaged me back in like no time at all. So I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a shake. So I gave it a try, and I don't know, the whole setup and the GUI of it and everything just it wasn't my thing. So unfortunately, I uninstalled it, and I'm not going that I'm not going that route again. So I think I like Studio One better and Pro Tools and whatnot. So yeah, we'll go with that. So anyway, next order of business is I'm finishing up some files and doing some rearranging stuff in Studio and whatever, and ready to get busy. Start writing some new material. I do have some old material I'm going to like remaster, so to speak, and just kind of get them up there and just get them up. I've got a DistroKid account now, so I'm just start uploading all kinds of stuff up there. And if you like it, great, buy it. If not, then whatever. Um, but it's getting songs getting all the recording going again. I do want to do some rearranging here in studio and hang up some stuff. I got like you can't see it. Well, I've got a banner here. I got a whole bunch of. I started collecting um, soccer flags, scarves from different soccer teams and stuff as I travel and whatnot. So I've got a whole bunch of them all over the place. So I want to start making use of them. So I'll hang them up in studio here, kind of just a decoration thing or whatever. Just kind of exemplify some of my love for the sport. So got to work on refreshing my chops because I really haven't played guitar hardly at all this year. So I'm probably a bit rusty. I probably sound like a bad hack on YouTube. Not that I probably didn't sound like that before, but I want to prevent that from getting any worse. Got to do some updating on my guitars. Probably like change all the strings, clean them up, clean the guitars up because they're probably caked on with dust and whatnot from just sitting idle for a whole year. Um, let's see. Outside of studio, this year, and this is just kind of a summary now, and apologize this video has gotten long, but it is what it is, I guess. So we traveled this year a bunch of places. We went to Arkansas for spring break. Hot Springs was the name of the town. And they got these natural hot springs there that you can sit there and bathe in and stuff. It's good for medical value, I guess. People for their bad knees, bad back, whatever. They come around. It's got healing qualities and all that stuff. So anyway, we had a good time. It was fun. Um, let's see. Then, of course, for our summer vacation this year, we actually did we went to Rome, and we spent a few days in Rome. And then from Rome, we got on a cruise ship, and then we sailed across the Mediterranean to Barcelona, and then came back to Italy. And along the way, we stopped in Florence, Florence, yeah. So we went to Pisa, Florence. Then we went to Nice, France. We went to Mallorca, Spain. Then we went to Barcelona, and then came back across the Mediterranean. Then we ended up going to um, Naples, Italy, and from there we went into Pompeii. Got to look at the ruins in Pompeii, which was unbelievable. And then back to Rome, and we spent a couple more days in Rome. We flew home, and then later that summer we then went to Nashville. Never been to Nashville before. Nashville was very, very, very nice. Got to try that hot chicken, man. I tell you, Hattie B's hot chicken is where it's at. Um, so we went to Nashville. My son was looking at colleges, and we went to go tour Vanderbilt. We love the campus, um, and so I think he's applying there or whatever. So we did that for a few days, and let's see where else. Then in September, my wife and I went back to Italy, just the two of us without the kids, and we went to tour in Italy. There we're there for like a long weekend, and then we went to Bologna. And then while we were in Bologna, we went to go visit the Ferrari complex. I mean, the factory, the factory, the museum, the whole thing. Got to test drive a Ferrari. We took a California T out on the roads. I was actually driving. Got to open her up a little bit. That was fun. And gosh, and then from Bologna, Maranello, then we went to Milan and spent a few more days in Milan shopping and enjoying the sights and everything. And then we flew home. And I think that was the end of our travels for the year. So we got quite a bit of traveling in this year. Got pictures up the wazoo, and I still haven't uploaded them all. I started uploading to my Instagram all the pictures from the second Italy trip with my wife and I, where we went to Ferrari and everything. And I still have the end of the Ferrari pictures to upload, and I think all the ones from Milan. So I'll get to it. Um, let's see what else. Astros, man, how about that? The Astros won the World Series. It's funny because I was a big baseball fan growing up, and then I just kind of like, well, whatever. Whatever. I guess I grew out of it. I played baseball growing up and everything, and of course, being from near Boston, um, it was a Red Sox. I've been to Fenway like a dozen of times or whatever. Got to see the Patriots when I was, up there too. See them every year as well. But since I moved to Texas like some 20 plus years ago, I'm just haven't really paid attention to baseball or whatever. Just not been into baseball much at all. But everyone caught the fever here with the Astros and the playoffs and everything, and earned history and all that stuff. So kind of went all crazy. Along the way, we picked up season tickets for next year. So now we have season tickets for the Astros for next season. So we'll be there a lot this 2018 at Minute Maid Park. Got some pretty good seats, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Where am I? World Series. I got my banner up there. We got Astros jerseys out the wazoo coming out. So anyway, it's fun, and it kind of brought me back a little bit to my childhood because I was a big baseball fan. I played baseball in Little League and Babe Ruth and all that stuff. So um, fitness. So uh, I've been on the whole fitness thing, and I told you guys I've been working on that and everything. So um, I've had some issues this year with interrupting with the travel because I always have a hard time keeping up my fitness routines when I travel. One is the equipment is never really the same, um, and rarely do I have like a DVD player with me that I can pop a DVD in and watch because I do like the Beachbody stuff. And I've got the DVDs for them. Although now I've got the Beachbody thing on demand and I can stream it or whatever. But if you're in Europe, you can't exactly stream on 2G because that's what I usually have on my phone. So and a lot of the hotels don't. The Wi-Fi usually is pretty terrible if you're at a hotel. So the traveling kind of interrupts my flow, so to speak, and of course eating. You just gotta eat. I mean, just you're in Europe, dude. You gotta eat, right? Um, But the problem I've been having more than that was I was trying some other workouts this year that would aggravate my knees and my legs and mainly my lower body. not my, that hasn't bothered my upper body, but I mean my knees, my calves, my ankles, my feet. So I would do like the Shaun T stuff, like Focus T25. I did Shaun Week, which I was able to complete without a problem. That was a good week. That was kind of a good jump start for me. Um, but then trying to do like Insanity Max 30, and then Focus T25. Man, I get like 2, 3 weeks in, and I could barely walk. Like my legs would just give out. I just couldn't do it. And this is a whole ton of jumping and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, getting back to do those workouts and like modify like the whole workout to me is just like what? What's the point? I mean, so after trying bunch of different things, I even tried the new one by Chris Downing, the Shift Shop. So I tried that one, and I got in for a while too on that one, and my legs started acting up on that one too. I was about 2 weeks in on that one. I was like, man, what the hell? So I went back to my tried and true, my P90X3, try that again. I went back to my P90X3, and I'm entering month 2 now. And I started off and I had some issues early on. I worked through it, I pushed through, and here I am. I just finished up the first month yesterday. I'm on my rest day today. So um, tomorrow start off second month on P90X3. So that's good. Um, and hopefully for 2018, I'll be able to keep myself more in line with the eating because that's my problem. I mean, I'll do the workouts and stuff, but then man, I eat like all get out. I just love food, especially my wife. My wife is a killer cook. And she cook Italian food, she cook Chinese food, she can cook Mexican food. You'd think she's all of them, but she's not. So it's hysterical. So anyway, um, for 2018, and here's the drum roll, right? Here's this is the money shot. So I want to get my ass back into the studio and start writing and recording, shooting videos, um, and just rocking out. And I'm actually going to try to sing some. I mean, that's kind of a scary thought for me, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I've got a course somewhere, some rock singing somewhere. If I can find it, I'm gonna mess around with it. There's another course online that I'm thinking of getting instead that I might try and instead, and I might do that one. So we'll see. It'll probably be good either way. But I want to try to develop my voice a little bit so I can start doing some singing. Uh, so I can sing my wife, sing that song to my wife, that $1 million song that'll just break her heart. So uh, I'd hate to have someone else sing that song to her. So, and she's probably end up running off to the sunset with them, right? So let me see. So I want to write and release some new material. I would like to try to redo the Atlanta Suite. I never finished it. I mean, I got into the one song and I released the one song, the Anger of the Gods, which came out okay. Um, but I think I want to redo that song and just the whole album the way I envisioned it originally. And I think 2018 might be the year. So let me see. I want to try to become a bit more engaging on social media. With I'm on Instagram now. I got my Twitter thing kind of going on, YouTube of course, and I might even set up a Patreon account somewhere down the road. And I got some kind of ideas and perks I'm thinking of doing with that to make it a worthwhile investment for fans or whatever. But I'll keep that under wraps until I'm ready to roll out with something. So 2018, will I have a new album? Maybe not. And here's why. I really don't think we live in an age anymore where albums are a thing. I think now with digital media, digital songs and downloads and stuff, I think yeah, this is kind of a long video. I didn't expect it to go this long, but then again, I always like to yap and yap and yap. So anyway, it's been good talking to you guys. I appreciate it, and especially if you hung out with me for this long. And as a reward, let's say if you've watched through this whole video, then put a comment down below that you watched the video. Maybe tell me what some of your goals are for 2018, and I will actually then send you a code to download Anger of the Gods for free. I've got some download cards that I had made when I did the song originally, and if you don't have it, I can go ahead and I'll just message you the codes off the back of a card, and you can download it at your leisure. And this way, you've got the song for free. I think I've got a handful of them, so get yourselves out there, and just comment or whatever on the video, and let me know what you're planning for 2018. Thanks a bunch, guys. Sorry it was so long, but it was fun. So anyway, hopefully I'll be doing more of this with shorter videos next. All right, take care. Thanks.